The story of what happened to this innocent child gripped our audience. The Department of Children and Families removed baby Liberty from her birth parents and placed her with blood relatives, a place where the state said she was safe and thriving. But after nearly a year, this. Child Services moved Liberty to another relative, a convicted criminal with a history of domestic violence and an outstanding warrant for his arrest. How does this happen? And could she be saved? Our News4JAX I-Team investigation began in October of 2016 and exposed what happened to this child.
So many of you at home were touched and have continued to ask us, what happened to Liberty? As I-Team investigator Lindsay Gardner tells us, miraculously, this story's final chapter includes a happy ending.
Here he is.
Baby Liberty, now a toddler, is finally back home with her family, laughing and playing in the same room Keenan and Ginger Phillips kept untouched, praying for Liberty's return when we first met in 2016.
As long as we knew that we had a chance, we were never going to give up.
No.
That fight began here. Heart-wrenching home video captured as Liberty was removed from the Phillips home by DCF in September of 2016. Our News4JAX I-Team investigation began in October and aired in December. Within weeks, legal proceedings over Liberty's placement were back underway and lasted into 2017. The Phillips can't talk about the legal process because they want to protect Liberty's privacy, but they can describe the emotional toll the ordeal took on the family.
I never thought I could be stressed out so much, like tension headaches, nightmares. There was times that it didn't seem like it was ever going to get there, or like it wasn't going to happen.
Liberty's life began in the DCF system. Her parents struggled with drugs and domestic violence. She was removed and placed into foster care before making it to the Phillips home at 5 months old. When she was 15 months, the Phillips thought they were close to adopting her. Liberty's guardian ad litem put in writing, filing this report with the court, saying Liberty was thriving in the Phillips home, deeming it to be a safe and loving environment for her. But just 1 week later, she was taken away. Her birth parents legally surrendered their rights to Liberty and asked to transfer her to the birth father's family, hoping for greater access to their daughter. Parents who the guardian ad litem found could cause great emotional harm to Liberty's well-being. We checked Duval County court records and found this new home Liberty was placed in also had a documented history of domestic violence. And the man chosen by the court to be her new adoptive father had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. Our investigation also uncovered Liberty's birth mother signed over the rights to her daughter under duress after she was threatened by the birth father.
That little girl needed us.
Yeah, so
She needed us, so we had to fight, and my son needed to see us fight.
In the beginning stages of our investigation, we reached out behind the scenes to State Representative Gail Harrell, who has served as the chair for the Children, Families, and Seniors Subcommittee for 6 years. That is the legislative committee that oversees funding for the Department of Children and Families and the Guardian ad litem's office. We met with Harrell last month for the first time since discussing Liberty's case in 2016.
Initially, did the system fail Liberty?
I think the system, at the very beginning, when she was removed, there wasn't adequate information there. Decisions were made without proper investigation or information. In that sense, yes, the system failed her right then and there. Fortunately, there are safeguards built in. So it was a temporary situation, thank goodness.
So do you feel like the guardian ad litem in Liberty's case initially should have stepped up on her behalf and said this move is not in her best interest?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't know what happened in that situation.
We now know at least one employee at the Guardian ad litem's office who was assigned to Liberty's case no longer works there. Sources say that employee was let go after our story aired, but no one could say on the record it was because of Liberty's removal. In fact, no one at the Guardian ad litem's office or DCF have ever spoken publicly about Liberty, citing privacy restrictions. Another source tells the News4Jax I-Team the major flaw in Liberty's case, the home study done to place her with the new relatives. It was missing a simple fingerprint. That fingerprint would have found that outstanding warrant, even though the I-Team found it in public records.
Do you feel like home studies could be strengthened?
And I think in this case, the individual who was doing the home study did not have all the information. Had they had that, it's very clear that home study would not have been approved.
Harrell says Liberty's case is fueling a new push to hire more child protective investigators to work cases like Liberty's all across the state.
In this case, I'm so happy that things turned out for Liberty, that everything worked well, and at the end of the day, she's in a right home. But we need to do a better job. There's no doubt.
Do the pedals.
Liberty was adopted by the Phillips nearly a full year after the removal ordeal first began. Her family hopes as she grows and one day learns of her story, she will appreciate all they did to bring her home.
We gave her a place to thrive, yes.
Yes, definitely. And I would hope that everyone else would see that too.
The Phillips are very grateful for all of the emotional support they received while fighting for Liberty's future. They agreed to do this follow-up interview with us to show everyone who did support them that their daughter is safe and sound. Another change Representative Harrell supports after Liberty's case is to one day hope to require all state child protective investigators to have a degree in social work so they can better understand complicated family dynamics.
And how complicated they are. And
my
in this case
gosh.
specifically.
They're all so layered too, Mary. Like, this is one child's story, but think about how many children come through this system, especially with the opioid crisis out there these days.
Oh, it's building and building.
It is. And that is the need. That's why they say there is such a need for more foster families out there right now to help more children.
I know you're not one to take credit. The legal process worked, but this is why we have the I-Team.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. Yes.
Came in and you caught that. The fingerprint,
Thank you, guys. I will tell you the biggest reward, one of the biggest rewards of my entire career now, is meeting that little girl and seeing her so happy. Just so beautiful and so happy. And I hope that we captured that for everyone at home,
Yes,
just
you
seeing
did.
her running around and
all the joy.
she's
and
home.
health.
And
A
health.
wrong has been righted.
Yes.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you so much.